Hello, today we are doing Final Fantasy IV. There were many different versions of this game. There were 3 for the Super Nintendo, the original Japanese easy type version, and the American version, which are all different from each other. Then it was ported to the PS1, ported to the WonderSwan Color, which is a Japan-only handheld. It was ported to the Game Boy Advance, and then it was remade for the DS. So there were many versions. There was for the classic, old school, new school. No reason to get this game, whether you're argumentative of graphics, age, or anything. Final Fantasy IV introduced a lot of new staples into the series, new monsters, new music, and it also introduced the real-time turn-based system that it introduced, which livened up battles more. Well, say, for example, it's one of your characters' turn, but the monster's turn-based bar thing fills up. It does not have to wait for you to choose your turn and can attack now, and while you're still deciding what you want to do, as opposed to the older games where everything had to wait for the first person's turn to be over before they can do any of their actions and things. Most fans consider the newer versions, the PlayStation 1, Game Boy Advance, and DS versions to be more better because they're actually more closer to the Japanese version. The PS1 version is a retranslated version of the original Japanese Super Nintendo. Game Boy Advance is basically the same thing with material and everything. And the DS remake is exactly the same in that. But the DS version has a lot of new added features and things. Some additional content and things that fit around with the DS functionality and some fanfare things. Anyway, now the story is you are Cecil. You are the Dark Knight of Baron, and you're in charge of the Red Wings, the airship force of the kingdom. You were ordered by your king to go to Masada, the Black Mage, White Mage village of the world, and to take the crystal they have. Cecil begins to question whether this was morally right or wrong, or the reasons the king wanted to do this, or ordered him to do this, when these innocent people did not even dare fight him back for the crystal. After questioning the king strips him of his rank and sends him on his way to do an errand that would set in motion the story, a legend, and a quest to save the world from a maniacally crazed storyline. As Cecil journeys to prove himself worthy of saving everything of that, he goes through a job change, betrayals, losses, and many dramatic twists in the storyline. But you also have some humor thrown in once in a while. But the story mostly remains pretty dramatic. Some of the killers actually sacrifice themselves to assist Cecil on his journey. There's no job system in Final Fantasy IV, unlike Final Fantasy III as the previous game. All the characters have a pre-assigned job and special abilities, and different characters leave and join at different points of the game. Final Fantasy IV on the Game Boy Advance is the only version that breaks this rule, is because they made it where near the end of the game you could change out any of the characters. So if you didn't like the original end characters in the Game Boy Advance version, you could take any of the characters who normally never went with you beyond certain points of the story to the very end. The DS version did not have this feature, but instead had a feature where you could take the moves of the characters who didn't stay with you forever, or ones that joined you at the end, and you could give their moves to the ones that joined you at the end. So if you liked any of the particular moves but didn't want to lose them, the DS version allows you to give them to characters, which there are also other abilities that do things in combat in the DS version. But as the story goes, you'll traverse the desert, the land, the sea, even underground into the worlds beyond. The story is full of lots of betrayal and dramatic cutscenes and everything, and really, it holds a special place in my heart. I can't give it anything except for a 5 out of 5. I highly recommend this game. There's no reason not to get it. There's new, old. If you don't like 2D, there's the DS version, everything. There's really no reason not to get any of the versions. And that's about all I have really to say. I hope you pick up the game. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you enjoyed this really short review. One of the reasons it's short is because I wanted to add a remix song of one of my favorite songs into this video. I did not make this, and on the right side, you will get a link of who made it and his actual link of the song, which is obviously much better quality than the recording I did. Thank you for watching. Please comment on anything if you want, and look forward to my next video.